Welcome to the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. This video gives you the top 10 best Rolex watches to invest in 2022. The best resale superstars on the market are the top Rolex watches to invest in 2022. These timepieces guarantee a considerable profit from Cosmograph Daytonas to presidential day dates. Rolex luxury isn't simply for the shopaholics' pride. It also has the distinction of superior functionality and unrivaled elegance. When you think of Rolex, you think of luxury. Given the brand's impeccable reputation built over the past century, it's no surprise that Rolex watches have a high resale value. You could buy a Rolex watch to hold a set price value and sell at a profit if it weren't for the functionality and status. However, given the vast selection, picking the best Rolex watch to invest in for 2022 can be difficult. As a result, we've compiled a list of the top 10 Rolex watches to buy in 2022. You can trust our years of experience collecting luxury timepieces to assist you in making an excellent decision. For the first on the list, we have Rolex Submariner. If you're seeking the most popular Rolex to buy, a Submariner could be the watch for you. This Rolex is attractive, sturdy, and very sporty, with a sleek design and waterproof integrity to roughly 300 meters, far more profound than the ordinary sport diver will ever go. Rolex Submariners in general are widely prized by individuals who shop the resale market because of their excellence and uncompromising durability. A word of warning concerning the Rolex Submariner 16610 in particular, it is frequently counterfeited because it is so popular and valuable on the secondary market. Make sure you buy from a reputable retailer who will offer you a certificate of authenticity at the time of purchase. Second on the list is Rolex GMT Master. The GMT Master and GMT Master II from Rolex are always in high demand. These aviators' watches were created to suit the requirements of international pilots and are exceptional in every way. The Rolex GMT Master II features distinctive 24-hour hands and rotating 24-hour advanced bezels that allow the wearer to read 3 different time zones simultaneously. Despite its obvious use, this model has a lovely appearance that works well with casual and formal clothes. Its huge dial oozes elegance, and its elegant design is widely sought after by potential buyers. If you can stomach to part with it, that is. For the third Rolex, we give you Rolex Daytona. Looking for a cutting-edge timepiece? Look no further than the Rolex Daytona. This model, named after one of America's car racing capitals, has an unusual look thanks to the trio of subdials. The Daytona is a watch worth considering if you value speed, luxury, and performance. This Rolex is particularly popular among celebrities, explaining why it retains its worth so well. The Paul Newman Rolex Daytona, for example, was sold at Christie's auction for 989,000 Swiss francs, or about $1,089,186 in the United States. Next, we have Rolex GMT Master Ref 1675. This legendary Rolex GMT Master was in production from 1959 until 1980, making it one of its longest produced models. It also means it is tricky to say that this watch is a good investment because there are so many differences between the models with this reference number. Their prices are perfect proof of this. The cheapest Ref 1675 models start at roughly $12,000 to $13,000, whereas the most expensive is listed on Chrono24 for around $90,000. While it's reasonable to say that older Rolex GMT Master Ref 1675 watches are iconic antique timepieces that sell for a lot of money, subsequent models are frequently the cheapest. This watch is one of the most iconic Rolex has ever manufactured, and it will be recognized by Rolex enthusiasts all over the world. Fifth on the list is Rolex Oyster Perpetual. The Rolex Oyster Perpetual is one of the company's oldest models. It has occupied Rolex's entry-level selection of timepieces for some years. While there hasn't been much fanfare for the Rolex Oyster Perpetual before, 2020 was a watershed moment for the brand. As we enter the first half of 2022, Oyster Perpetual also have much investing potential. In addition to having a concise manufacturing run, considering that it was only available in Rolex's catalog from 2015 to 2020, many collectors consider 39mm to be a sweet spot in terms of case size. Finally, with current production Oyster Perpetual prices as high as possible, this Rolex watch provides a lot of value to collectors. Even though they will not have the latest generation of movements, their timekeeping performance will be identical at -2 + 2 seconds every day. The lugs on the case are slightly larger than on the current model, giving it a more expansive and sporting feel on the wrist. We have the 2021 Rolex Batman GMT Master II for number 6. Many fans believe that Batman looks best on the Oyster bracelet. The market for this watch exploded when Rolex announced in 2021 that the Batman would be released on the Oyster bracelet with the improved 3285 movements. Initially, there was a buzz that this movie would devalue Batman, but this was swiftly disproven. The 2021 Batman on the Oyster bracelet has seen pre-owned prices as high as $23,000, making this a great Rolex 2022 investment watch because the MSRP is less than half of the Rolex 2022 at $10,750. For number 7, we give you Rolex Pepsi GMT Master II. The Rolex Pepsi GMT is a vintage Rolex watch recently resurrected as the current reference. Even after decades, the Rolex Pepsi line remains widespread and it is one of the most intricate Rolex watches available from authorized dealers. The latest Pepsi reference, 126710BLRO, is available for purchase now for $10,750 and pre-owned for up to $22,000. This watch makes our Rolex investment watch list for 2022, but it'll also be in everyone's rankings for the foreseeable future. Number 8 is Rolex Oyster Perpetual Tiffany and Cotton Candy dials. Rolex doesn't usually use bright colors, but in 2020, they shattered all expectations. Brilliant dial colors were used on the 36mm and 41mm Oyster Perpetual series. Adding the new Oyster Perpetual dials transformed the collection from a dealer's case to a Rolex Investment Watch 2022 list contender. The phrases investment watches and OP watches were never used in the same sentence. These watches, particularly the Tiffany and Cotton Candy dials, can bring quite a money. The 36mm and 41mm in these colors have MSRPs of $5,800 and $6,150 respectively. Both dials may be found on Chrono24 with pre-owned prices ranging from $16,000 to $18,000. Ninth on the list is Blue Dial Rolex Sky Dwellers on the Jubilee. The Rolex Sky Dwellers is possibly the most gorgeous GMT watch ever created. The Sky Dweller has a fluted bezel, sunburst dial, and the comfortable Oyster bracelet that have made the earlier series popular. In 2022, all of the references in this series perform admirably as Rolex investment watches. The Rolex Sky Dweller is a fan favorite, evidenced by its pre-owned value. The MSRP for a Rolex Sky Dweller on the Jubilee bracelet is $15,200, which is obviously out of this world. The price range fluctuates a little on internet markets, but most of these references sell for $34,000 to $38,000, which is a good return on your investment. Lastly, for number 10, Rolex Day-Date. The Rolex Day-Date is a high-end watch. It is made of luxurious gold, rose gold, and platinum materials. This watch, often known as the President Watch, portrays the risks of power and economics in society. In 1956, the Day Date debuted, offering a unique date display. Since then, further variation of the Day Date collection have been manufactured, with significant demand in the retail sector, including models from the 1970s and 1980s. They come in various unique enamel colors, including orange, turquoise, pink, and yellow. The Rolex Day Date is a valid symbol of distinction. Its green dial and fluted bezel, wrapped in rose gold case, are eye-catching. The thrill of brushing grooves across the dial that dilute light is intriguing. It offers the green dial a unique brilliance that you won't see on any other Rolex. This Day Date is now on the market for £58,000. As a result, selling a used Day Date in 2022 will yield a significant profit. Which Rolex model of these top models maintains its worth the best? The Rolex Daytona, according to many experts, is the best watch in this category. And even though another Rolex is equally or even more exquisite, the Rolex Daytona appears to be the most popular merely because of its ageless appearance, fame, and long-lasting reliability. Of course, no one can foresee what will happen in the future. Pick a Rolex that appeals to you personally. And if you can get your hands on a highly wanted limited edition model, you'll have a far better chance of making a profit when it comes time to sell. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you will be notified when our next video comes up. This concludes our video for today, and we will see you again next time.